Craft. I am the host of Everfree Network, but I'm also the CEO and I don't know, chairperson thingy of Poison Joke Productions, which is why I'm here right now. But we're here to see Hell Hath No Hoagie world premiere. So, before we get into the actual premiere itself, I would like to introduce the people who really made Hell Hath No Hoagie happen. And I'd like to start with my good friend Joe Stevens here, the original creator. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Am I allowed to go by my real name now?
Only if you want to.
I go.
Eduardo is not your real name.
Darn it. I go by the character of Joe Stevens on the Equestrian Choir on Everfree Network, but my real name is actually David Hammonds, and this is my real voice. Creator, director, writer for Hell Hath No Hoagie, but it's really these people that made it possible. But I won't go into too many of the details. We'll get like a bunch of questions after it, but it's labor of love, and we're really excited to share it.
I'm Leia Jade, and I'm one of the animators. I animated on Double Rainboom, and I animate for Silly Fiddly Studios.
My name's Adrian Winchell, but most of you probably know me as Snap Eye. I animated and built one of the puppets for this project. I also animated on Double Rainboom and have done several independent animations as well.
There we go. Hi, everybody. I'm LTT Moose.
Hey, look.
Hey, look.
It's Steven.
Yeah. Real name Steve Baird. I'm the character designer, storyboarder, and then I also ended up doing the sound effects for this particular thing. And I also did the losing potency.
And I just want to say this. He's one of the funniest people I've ever
Don't
met.
set the bar too high.
I just
for me.
did. I just
Don't
did.
do this.
Deal with it.
If you have a microphone that lasts longer than 4 hours.
Right. But I also did the sound effects and the theme music for this little production here.
You also played a character.
Oh yes, and now I'm a voice actor too. So I'm a man of many hats. I'm a moose of many hats. Yes.
Hi, I'm Eiley Monty. I'm a voice actress and singer, and I play. I don't know why I got into a southern accent, but
Oh my God.
I played Dawn and some little background characters in the animation. Yeah.
And hello, everybody. My name is Solrak or Yaplap, and welcome to the world premiere of. I want you guys to say Hoagie. Hell hath no Hoagie! Yeah! Let's get this thing started. I play Bernie, and you'll see me doing what I'm doing right now. Hoagie again. Hell hath no Hoagie! Yeah!
And then, like I said,
I don't want this thing.
and then just because we're going through roles, my role on the side of the production is I actually, in terms of animating whatever, did absolutely nothing. But Poison Joke Productions is going to be building the website and also doing distribution for the show. So that's what I'm here for. Anyway, why don't you guys? I want to ask David here really quick. Well, we probably want to know.
Probably just show the show.
Well, no,
Give the people what they want.
Hold on, there's still some people. There's still some people filtering in.
Okay.
So just really quick before we get to it, could you talk about where the idea came from?
For the show and
Yes,
everything?
and like could you talk about how it became a cartoon?
Well, it literally started as a conversation at Taco Bell. Someone had mentioned that they thought that hell was overflowing, and so now everyone's going to have to do community service here on Earth because there's no space left. And so that came with the idea of a person on fire picking up trash in a chain gang on the side of the highway. And from that was the character Bernie, who Solrak plays. And so from that, it evolved into a show that was developed when I was in college, and literally was, after doing all of these things, I came up to LTT Moose, who is LTT stands for Less Than Three, which is his webcomic. And I said, hey, LTT
Don't
Moose,
go to that site.
And
It's too funny.
it's a hilarious webcomic. And
die
I said,
laughing.
I would love to turn this into a webcomic. It was a show, but there's no way we're going to be able to make it into a cartoon show. Just no way at all. So let's make it a webcomic. And Steve says to me, no, let's make the show. And
I didn't say that. No. I was fine doing a webcomic. You had all these grand aspirations of an animated show. I had nothing to do with that.
Well, and then sort of we got paired a little bit with, we saw that Fanbuilt was coming out and a bunch of other things, and we decided, hey, why don't we make this sort of like a poster child project for the Fanbuilt thing? And at the same time, there's a little known convention called Midwestria, where I had the opportunity to say,
Who
let's.
here was at Midwestria? We're a close-knit group.
And then Mitch is in the back. So
And
I had
Paul is there, come
I had
on.
a chance to present the Bible of the show to M.A. Larson, and he laughed. That's all it needed, and then we thought that it was great. And so, thank you, Mitch. We wouldn't be able to do this without you and your encouragement and support. And so after that, it was just like, all right, we have to make this now. And so
Yeah.
after several months and of begging and pleading and figuring out what we were doing, we got it. So I think we've hyped it enough, actually. If we talk about it anymore, no one's going to have expectations fulfilled at all. You guys want to watch the show? All right.
All right, so we're showing them the first episode, and
We're
then-
showing, this is the pilot episode. We're going to show that afterwards.
Are we gonna announce it now, or are we just
We're
gonna?
going to announce it after.
Fine, do it.
Okay, so
Fine, all
if
right,
we can
let's
get
do
the
this.
lights down, and we'll go ahead and show the pilot. Once the lights are down, of course. Clap on. There we go.
Yeah, I'll have a number one with a.
Waterman's cheesy fries.
Oh, okay. Do you have cheesy fries? They don't have cheesy fries.
With beef. Cheesy fries should have beef.
I'll have the shrimp hoagie, Steve.
One shrimp hoagie for Don, and
Waterman said there be cheesy fries.
they don't have cheesy fries. Order something else.
Where does it say on the menu that there cannot be cheesy fries?
So, a number one with no
Bear
pen.
witness to my fury purveyor deep-fried cuisine and haphazardly crafted imitation milkshakes. I, the Dark Lord Gore Show!
Hey, make my hoagie with no mayo, please. Mayo's disgusting.
My vengeance shall be swift and mighty.
Look, you've got cheese and you've got roast beef. Why not take some off a sandwich and just slap them on the fries? Swiss or American cheese, Gore?
American.
Lettuce?
No.
How about pickles?
Suffering of the utmost fire shall consume you for all eternity should I find one single pickle among cheesy fries with beef!
Yeah, that's no pickles on the fries. How about you, Bernie? You want anything? I don't think they're gonna give you frozen chicken wings, Bernie.
Pretty sure that's a health code violation.
Oh, you can? Huh. What kind of sauce, Bernie? Mild sauce, please. Thanks. Say thanks to the nice box, Bernie. Oh, crud. I forgot to say my number one was without pickles.
Thrice cursed be they who peddle in pickles.
I like pickles.
What?
Sit down, Gore, or I'll smother you in bunnies again.
Oh, no more using bunnies to maintain the balance of good and evil, Don. Bernie likes hugging them too much.
It has been 3 minutes since I placed an order for cheesy fries with beef, and they are not at my present location. This is unacceptable!
It was 1849, right?
Your car's on fire.
Huh? Oh, that's just Bernie. He likes the wind in his face. Okay, so he likes not burning my upholstery.
And bunnies!
And bunnies. He does not like burning bunnies and my upholstery. And I don't like pickles on my sandwich, so please remove them from my order when you take my money. Flash a little money at someone and they'll ignore the craziest sights.
That and a bunny.
Why do you keep summoning those things?
It's simple. We have to keep the balance of good and evil. Otherwise, people will see us as demons and not just weirdos in strange clothes. Yes, Bernie, we know you're not able to wear clothes, but we don't want people knowing that. So long as we don't upset the balance of good and evil and get recognized as demons, we can stay on Earth, where there's hoagies and cheesy fries!
Does it have to be bunnies that keep the balance?
There's nothing better to keep evil and good in balance than a bunny. Things get too bad, hug a bunny. Things get too good, throw a bunny at Bernie. Everything's in balance. People don't see us for what we really are, and hell doesn't care we left. Hooray for balance!
I demand a balance of cheesy fries with beef to be deposited into my hands post-haste.
If only all the world's problems could be solved with burning bunnies and cheesy fries.
There should be a poem about that. All is fury when not with furry. To peace and wise does evil despise. Cheese betwixt a plate of French fries. It was spur of the moment, Bernie. Don't be so critical.
That's Don's job.
Here's your number one shrimp hoagie, frozen rings, and cheese fries.
With beef! Cheesy fries with beef! Soul-wrenching despair which you should have neglected to place processed bovine carcasses upon my cheesy fries!
There's beef on them.
Excellent!
Say goodbye, Bernie.
And now it's public on YouTube, so there you go. Chris Carrera. Not you. He doesn't.
Yeah, normally I don't care about credits either, but when my name's up there, you people pay attention.
Well, that's the pilot episode. What'd you guys think?
I'm going to ask this question just so that you have to hear them say it. Would you guys eventually like to see a full season of this show?
I think. Well, that's what we're planning on doing, actually. Since you have no voice, I'll talk a little bit about it. But we are planning on doing a full 13-episode season of this, and in order to do that, we are planning on doing a Kickstarter pretty soon. So be on the lookout for a Kickstarter program. We're going to be making a website. We're going to be making promotion. There is existing a Tumblr right now. You can follow us on Twitter at HellHathNoHoagie. There's no space for an E though, so it's Hoagie. But
It's
He
the
actually
Latin
just can't
plural.
spell very well.
And so we're planning on doing a full 13-episode season, and the animatic for this has been up for a while. So most of the voice on that has been out there in public. So before we go into, I want to do some Q&A and I want to talk a little bit more, but we actually have episode 2 in an animatic right now. You guys want to see episode 2 as animatic? I think we'll get the lights down again, and we'll play the episode 2 animatic. Now, again, it's an animatic. It's just a storyboard that's kind of with motion around it. So there's
Work
no
in
sound.
progress.
Yeah.
Only positive criticism. I like your style.
It's the best thing you'll see in the next 5 minutes.
Again with the bunnies, Don.
I like bunnies, and I like hoagies. Bunnies and hoagies, 2 parts of the world that make life worth living. And 2 things we wouldn't have if we went back to hell.
You happy, Gore?
I am exceptionally pleased.
Good. Then make the dark vortex hanging over the sandwich shop go away.
It was merely a precaution, should they have failed to place beef upon my cheesy fries.
There are no hoagies in hell, Gore. Remember that.
There aren't cheesy fries either, so blowing up the restaurants if they messed up your order wouldn't have gotten you any closer to cheesy fries.
I make no apologies for the slaughter of innocents.
Oh, yeah? Go slaughter those innocents over there.
I'm eating.
What are you, chicken?
Chicken, beef, whatever. Don't do it either way.
They are not worthy of my wrath in any case. You there, mortal! You not worthy of my wrath! I shall exact vengeance upon this table instead!
Gore, what was that for?
To prove a point, and to clean my blade.
Don't worry about him. He gets angry at tables sometimes. His mother was killed by a coffee table. Very sad. Made him found a table hating called the anti-tablists. It's on the internet and everything. Would you like a chicken wing? No? You're lost.
You can't attract too much attention, Gore. None of us can. And there's only so much free chicken wings and bunny rabbits can do.
A test, then.
What?
We shall see the strength of these bunnies, and perhaps these chicken wings as well.
We're out of wings.
Then just the bunnies! How many bunnies is that worth?
Meh, just one.
Then I must seek a more challenging target. Hold this, Bernie.
No, Gore, I'm not even done eating my sandwich. Spread chaos and bedlam after I'm...
Gore, don't kill them!
Don't hurt them either!
Not too badly, at least.
No maiming!
Partial wounds, marginal maiming. Don't push it, Gore. I want my hoagie sandwich as much as Steve does.
Perhaps hard enough.
No more pushing. More. Hi, sorry about that. Hope you're not horribly maimed. Enjoy the bunnies. Please say you like bunnies. They better not be allergic.
Rise, rise, ye beings of all that lurks within the realm of man's darkest fears, and unleash your terrible calamity in the wake of my unending that will!
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. People were starting to recognize us as demons, and I don't want to get dragged back to hell just because you can't control your ability to summon the forces of evil. This is much better. Now, if you want to quote poetry, make it something cutesy. Flowers and rainbows and unicorns, okay?
Great, now I can finally finish my sandwich. You guys need to just... Let's get tacos next time.
Yeah, good call.
So that was episode 2. Did you guys like it? So I think what I'd like to do is say, again, thank you so much to our animators and everything. And if you want to, I want to go down the aisle and just kind of talk about what you guys did with the show, because obviously I didn't do it. It was you guys who made it. So Jade, if you want to just talk about which shots that you did.
I did a couple shots with Doug, the cashier, and basically what I did for animation, instead of just going straight ahead, I studied how my hands looked to draw his hands, how it would look if he saw a demon. Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Both at the same time. Fancy.
Okay, so I built Dawn's puppet from some loose sketches of Dawn, and also did a fair amount of her animation. all but one of the shots where you just see Dawn talking directly to the screen when she's talking with Steve.
And I actually want to hear you, Adrian, a little bit. You worked a lot on Double Rainbow, and this was an issue for a lot of the animators on this project because most of them were used to animating puppets or ponies.
Yeah.
Animating
Yeah.
ponies. So it was actually interesting, the movement from four-legged horses to humans
Yeah,
and
a lot-
animating humans. That was actually a big deal.
Yeah, a lot of us were like, okay, how do we build a human puppet, and then how do we make it actually animate correctly?
So you gotta like study how your body moves and stuff a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, partially responsible for what you've seen up there on the screen. Dave had originally asked me to do some sketches for a webcomic that he had, come up with. So I was like, okay, so I did some character sketches, and then all of a sudden, once this animation thing started up, well, he was like, well, you're already familiar with the characters, you know how, the gags work, why don't you do the storyboards? I was like, okay, I think I know what that word means. So, yeah. And then, of course, I Googled storyboards and realized that instead of like a webcomic where you only have to draw like 3 or 4 panels a week, you have to draw 157, I think was the count for Act 1. And then we had to do another one, yeah, and they all had to be done on time. Yeah, I don't like deadlines. Yeah, well, I mean, I like deadlines. They make a very nice whooshing sound as they go by. But that's basically what I was doing. And then, of course, once the storyboards, I passed them off to the animators, and they spun my straw into what you saw there. That was, any graphical thing that you enjoyed about that was these guys. And then once, we got the animation done, I realized that we didn't actually have any sound effects to go along with that. So it was just these guys talking, and nobody wants to hear that. And that was just, yeah.
And I particularly liked how you explained how you got the sound effect for him breaking the menu. Tell
Oh
us.
yeah, when the menu broke, that was actually okay. So we had a generic electronic sound, just like the bzz, 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 sound coming off there that I downloaded free off the internet, and then we also had the crunch sound, which is me throwing one of my lesser used glasses on the floor and recording the sound of the shattering glass. And then I layered all that on top of some artillery tests that I had heard. I was actually driving down the road, and I think it was Aberdeen Proving Grounds, and they were doing some artillery tests, and I just parked there and I was like,
So it's a combination of breaking flatware, generic electronic sounds, and a cannon.
yes.
That's how you make sound effects.
So that's how we got sponsored by the U.S. government on this project.
Next up.
That's your tax dollars
next
at
up,
work, yes.
Next up, the Michael Bay version.
So, Monty, I want to hear about how you approached Dawn, actually. How did you approach the creation of her voice?
Well, I thought about Fluttershy a little bit because of the bunnies. The cute little bunnies. And yeah, I just made her hippie-ish because that's how I saw her, free and wild. And
Bunnies and
I really enjoyed playing the actual bunnies.
So we asked her for a couple of takes on that one, and of course after that we were like, can you give us a bunny death rattle? Okay, remember the bunny is burning alive, so try to do that.
The funny bit was when you asked me to do it walking towards her, going.
Remember, the bunny still has some life left in it. It's not quite dead yet.
Yeah, I wound up actually trimming.
Right, yeah.
I wound up actually cutting apart about all of that audio into separate clips that we could use in the animation. So I have an entire folder of bunny squeaks and groans. And
You're now on several government lists because you have so many death bunny noises.
And I think my favorite part in when we were actually recording this, we actually did something a little bit different. I come from a theater background, so I don't know how to do voice acting sessions. So I thought the more people we can get in the session, the better. So we actually organized not only having people record it, but they were all over a Skype call. So we actually had the entire, pretending that we were all in the same room together recording it, because then the actors fed off of each other and everything. And I remember when Monty was reading, because doing an American accent, and you were doing that line, anti-tablists. I think we had like 20 takes on that speech. It's not a short
We couldn't
line.
excise the Brit out of you on that one.
I was actually sitting down at first recording, and then I had to like stand up, and I was like, "I'm gonna do this, guys! Anti-tablist, no! Anti-tablist, no!" And he was like, "No, it's fine." I'm like, "No, it's not! I will do it right."
Yeah, it was after like take 17. I was like, look, we'll work with it. Nobody will notice it. But you were like, no, I'm a
never
purist.
gonna give up.
And so actually, it may not be perceptible, but by far the hardest voice actor, or the hardest voice to get, to create, to enunciate is Bernie. Yeah. Now, Solrak had a script. He doesn't just say Bernie screams. He has lines. There's a script, and it's written down exactly what Bernie is saying. So we had to get an emotion out of that scream. So how tough was that to come up with? That had to be hard. I feel bad.
Yeah, because you're basically creating a language at that point.
Yeah, I'm creating a whole new language. It'll be called BronyCon. If you guys want to go to it, it'll be nice. Yeah, doing Bernie's voice is no easy job. I know some people might say, "Oh, it's just screaming," and it's, but it's just like it takes. You have to really emphasize the feeling of how he's feeling. If it's a happy shout, if it's he's seeing a bunny being burned alive because of him, then you have to really...
And the futility of not being able to do anything about it.
Yeah, it's...
I need the pathos of that scene.
But it's a lot of fun. It's really funny because the way that I recorded Bernie, I called it the Bernie Bolt. I recorded like 50 just shouts, and I was like, okay, here you go. See you later. I'll see you at BronyCon. And now I just got to see like which screams were used, and I did label them like, okay, sad 1, sad 2, sad 3, sad 4, happy, excited, sort of nervous-sided.
See what you did there.
We actually have enough Bernie sounds that we could probably tell an entire... I just have this image of Bernie sitting with a book and telling you a story, and the different enunciations are the different plot points that you're delivering.
He actually gave us enough that we won't require your services for the rest of the season.
I'm done, everybody. Good night.
And that's how we got the exasperated scream, right?
My favorite thing was in the Skype call where, because you were recording in your car, a guy came over to see if he was okay.
We kept your explanations to the passersby.
Well, first of all,
why you're not really in any sort of pain.
It's not a car. It's a mobile studio. Get it right. Mobile studio.
We're in the middle. I think it was Gore's line or something, and all of a sudden we hear Solrak say, "No, I'm okay. I'm just recording something."
I was in my apartment, and the Skype, I couldn't record inside my house because there's rebounds and echoes. And I do record inside a car. I recommend it. There's privacy, there's no rebound of echoes, and it's really nice. Just record at night because it gets really steamy, hot, and nice.
Voice actors after dark.
Yeah, I had to move the car to... Hey! I had to move the car to another area, and I was in somebody's parking spot. And so this guy comes along, and he doesn't say, "Oh, you're in my parking spot." He just comes like, "Are you okay? I hear you screaming." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm just recording for a show." It's like, "Oh, are you sure?" It's like, and I just said, "Yeah." So he walks away, and I do another scream, and he comes back with like the family. He's like, "Hey, kids, look. You see that? Yeah, he's crazy." And I'm like,
Well, did you tell him that you're okay, or did you like, "Oh, I'm okay"?
I was in Bernie mode, so I was like, "Ah, how are you doing? Oh, oh." I was like, "Okay,
Pressed
I got
up
it."
against the glass. I'm fine!
We could make a show out of your recording session.
That's the show for now.
Just film you recording the lines for Bernie.
We'll take it into consideration, Steve. If that's a good
So
show.
I'm not going to
There
draw
wouldn't
that.
be any spoilers in that. You could just live stream and record.
Yeah, no spoilers, just live stream. You would have no idea what's going
We
on.
could show the Skype call so you're seeing all the other voice actors blinking, but you can't hear them, and then you just hear Bernie screaming in response.
That sounds like an extra to a Kickstarter. So if you might actually get in there. That sounds like a good one. You be down
If you
for that?
donate at a $20 level, Solrak will scream incoherent gibberish at you for 5 minutes straight.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. That's a twerk. Write it down right now. So we forget.
So we have one last announcement to make about it. This is a special announcement. This is not public knowledge yet, but We're very pleased. Now, one thing to know about this show is I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to animation, and that's true. And these animators will tell you that I don't know what I'm doing at all, and I am very much aware of that.
So many angry emails.
So we pieced this together mainly because we just believe in this show. I mean, when I had so much positive feedback from everyone saying you have to make this, it's going to be great, I was like, okay, I need to find someone who knows how to make a cartoon. And so we piecemealed it together and we did it, but I am very much aware of my own limitations. I don't have the expertise or the educational background, so we found
Or the just
someone
raw intelligence.
who did.
Well, and, okay, so I want to this is kind of an epic tale, which I'll crunch down into 1 minute. So yeah, when he first showed me Hell Hath No Hoagie, and Bernie took away my voice. No, when he
All
first
the voice is gradually gravitating to the voice actor.
exactly.
He's absorbing your power as he speaks.
When he first showed me Hell Hath No Hoagie, it was last fall at Midwestria. We were looking at it, and I read over some scripts or whatever, and I said, you should make this into a show. And he said, well, I'm not an animator. I'm not a voice actor. I'm a writer. All I want to do is write. And I said, well, you should make this show. And so he's like, well, I'm going to put together a pilot. So he assembled the crew. He kind of pushed them to do everything they need to do. And the whole time I'm in the background saying, come on, let's make this into a show. Let's distribute it. Let's put it online. Let's give it a website. Let's start merchandising.
Go
Let's
to
do a
work,
Kickstarter."
people. Jeez.
I'm like, no, they're doing all the production, but I was bothering him. And he goes, look, Mike, here's the deal. I'm not going to do a season of this as animation director because I'm not an animation director. We need an animation director. Get me an animation director. When are you going to get me an animation director? Where's my animation director? And I said, okay, I'll find you one. And I said, who is your absolute ideal candidate? And he goes, well, if I was going to shoot for the moon, I would pick. And I said, okay, I'm going to work on it. And every couple of weeks, he'd call me up and he'd say, so what's the situation? I said, I'm working on it. And and so I wasn't really appearing. They do weekly Skype calls to check in on production, and I wasn't really in those. But he kept, afterwards saying, well, how are things going on this? Is it still realistic? I'm like, I'm working on it. And finally,
Cryptic
2 weeks
as
ago,
always.
I called up the person again and talked to her, and she finally committed. Ladies and gentlemen, the animation director of Hell Hath No Hoagie is Sabrina Alberghetti Sibsy. And I'm extremely excited, not only because I know how amazing she is, and she's a great friend of mine and a friend of David's, but also just because when I talked to her about it and she's seen all of this and she's watched it, she's really excited to work on it. So yes, she is going to be the animation director for the first season. So that's pretty freaking awesome.
So yeah, we're exceptionally excited to welcome Sibsy to the crew. She's going to be the director, but we are still going to be producing it, and so we're so happy to have her name attached to it, and she's going to be helping us out. So again, we won't be able to do a full season if we don't get enough support. So what we want to do is, again, the Kickstarter, promotion. The video is now on YouTube, so actually more views will help it too. So watch it, rewatch it, share the video with your friends, and support the show.
Now, one other thing I want to talk about really quick too is something that when it comes to new cartoons, I'm going to try and make this condensed. The way that most new cartoons are pitched, they're pitched to networks based on demographics. They're targeted audiences, and I told David that what My Little Pony has proven with an online audience is that target demographics aren't always relevant. How many of you watch MLP almost exclusively online? Show of hands. Exactly. So trying to market it to, say, an executive at some company and tailor the show that way really cramps on his creative style and might isolate some potential viewers. So I told Sibsy, and I talked to him about this in advance too, and I said, if she's gonna be the creative director, or I should say the animation director, you guys need to have 100% creative control over your own materials. So she is going to have 100% creative control over that. And I'm really proud of that because it's something most shows don't do. So anyway, there, I'm done.
So before we open it up to Q&A, I want to just say a big thank you to the people that are not able to be here, to Rob Bob, who is here actually. Rob Bob, if you can stand up, Rob. Our
Stop dressing like me.
director. helped out with.
By the way,
Zedrin's here.
I've got a
Zedrin's
cosplayer.
here.
Oh yeah, there we go, Zedrin.
An animator came in last minute, helped out with that glorious scene with Gore's last bit, and of course we have some. Go ahead and stand up. Yes, thank you. Vote capital. Carl is yeah. And Carl is here as well. Carl, I think you're in the back somewhere. Maybe you helped quite a bit in the early production stages.
That's Galaxy Art, everybody.
Galaxy Art, Carl. Thank you so much. And for those of you, just watch the credits again because there's too many people left to thank. But I think we can open it up to questions, Q&A. I think if we don't really have a microphone.
We could just take one of these.
There we go.
Actually, we do have a microphone.
We
His
do have
name's
a
Solrak.
microphone.
You're too prepared, sir. You're too prepared.
Actually, I see a lot of hands going up, so maybe we can line up somewhere. Want to line up in the middle?
Oh, okay.
Remember, pushing and shoving will get you to the front of the line faster.
You know what? We'll just do this.
Actually, you know what? I apologize. Just stay in the same order you are. Maybe if we can, is there room on the side of it? Because I think if we're in the middle that we're blocking views. So, but, all right, the middle works. The middle works. Okay, go ahead.
Just pass it along when you have any question.
I just want to open by saying that this looks like an amazing idea. I think it stands perfectly fine on its own 2 feet, and I'm really looking forward to, and I hope you guys get the Kickstarter working and actually come out with a whole series. That being said, and noting the note there that says Pinkie Pie is not a part of the poster, are there any plans to incorporate any sort of ponies into future episodes?
I really would say that we can't. Other than any type
Actually,
of...
I did just a little bit.
Okay, where did you reference it?
Okay. If you remember when Gore was giving his dramatic speech, the fire rising in the background, and it was slowly zooming in, and there was this evil music playing and some ominous Latin chanting going on in the background. Yep. The Latin chanting was actually the Latin phrase for friendship is magic.
He's saying friendship is magic in Latin.
I re-recorded myself 3 times, and yeah.
And I can say I've read
Easter
a
egg.
script. I can say I've read a script that David's written, or at least you talked about it extensively with me, that has thorough references to the Phantom. It's hard to avoid that sort of thing, given.
You want me to reveal it?
No. Do you guys want to reveal it?
Yes.
Reveal yourself.
There is a scripted episode where the gang goes to a BronyCon. But it's not called bronies. They're not called bronies. We invented a new word for it. So it's completely copyright free, but they do go to what is the equivalent of a BronyCon.
What is the uncopyrighted?
I will hold that back. 'Cause I
Yeah,
don't want
you'll have to
anyone
watch
steal
the
it.
episode. Fund our Kickstarter, and you'll find out.
Keeping us expenses.
If you kickstart enough, Solrak will scream it at you.
Find out, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, so whoa, Jesus, I'm loud. Sorry about that. Testing. There we go. All right, so what was my question? Oh yeah, so shut up. Yeah, it's the with the amount of episodes that you had planned, which was 13, you said, right? Are there any plans for any roles to be opened up and maybe auditions for voice actors? If so, how would you be doing that?
Well, as with other roles, we are having open auditions for both animators and voice actors for upcoming roles. But Rob Bob here is our casting director, so all auditions are going to be going through him. Basically, if you want to be able to contact him, we have a few new characters that will be introduced. I'm really excited about them. We have I can reveal a couple of them. We do have an angel who is a jerk angel. Whose heaven is to be a bully on Earth, and so we have a very mean angel that we are going to be casting soon, and several other characters. But Rob Bob is the casting director, so if you we will announce when we will be casting. But with animation being what it is, that is the thing that's taking the time. So we actually have a couple episodes before we need new voice actors. So. Again, go to the Kickstarter, and the faster we get those funds in, the faster we can make the episodes, and that means we'll announce casting auditions when roles open up.
Don't worry, Ellie, your job is safe. Solrak, you're on the chopping block.
Hey guys.
Oh, yeah.
So this is being live streamed, as you know. wonderful people with questions are blocking the view of the panel. Can you line up over there?
Yeah, if we can wrap you guys
Perfect.
around this way, maybe.
Thank you so much. Also, I wanted to give a shout out again. Rob Bob, who's doing the casting, if you don't know, is the creator of Epic Pie Time, Epic Wub Time, and Epic Cupcake Time. So he doesn't say it about himself enough, so I'm doing it to him.
Okay, this question is directed at you, Joe, and finally, because I would assume you both are the funding masterminds behind the project, more or less. Basically, when you managed to go over budget with your Kickstarter project, so what exactly do you intend to do with the funds that go sort of over budget? Do you intend to funnel that directly into the next season already, or?
Oh, well.
I like your optimism, my friend.
You know what? Yeah, I was gonna say, when you asked that question, I'm being 100% honest right now. When we were talking about starting the Kickstarter and creating a budget, whatever, at no point did we think we would ever go over budget. We were never in that mindset. We're like, okay, what are we gonna do with the funds that we can get? You know, but I imagine that if we go over budget, we'll put it towards another season.
First things first, we have to pay our animators and voice actors. And
Do it right now. Oh.
So
okay, go on.
We agreed on that.
Solrak needs food badly.
We agreed on that right away when I was talking with working. Yeah, lozenges too. Gallons and gallons of cough syrup. No,
Yeah, a lot of people.
No, we agreed on that right away because he talked to me. He said, well, if we're going to do this as a legitimate production, we need contracts, we need NDAs, and we need, payment schedules. And he said, what are we going to do with the funds? And he said, I would like to pay the voice actors and animators first. And I said, absolutely. It's not even a question. So that's what we're going to do first and then go from there,
Okay, 300% funded. Have fun.
I'm happy you were encouraged to do that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to give a comment. It's kind of like I have like Peter New's job. Peter New goes in a booth. He says, "Hey, yup." He comes out, paycheck. Same thing. I go in. Ah! I come out, paycheck. Woo!
Yeah, a lot of people
It's
don't
because they
realize-
think you're yelling at them to pay them.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people
pay
don't
quick.
realize that voice actors and animators actually do have to find places to live and eat. We don't just sit at our desks 24/7. No. Do you like us to?
We want them to
Once
do
we
that.
cut the chains off,
That's
then
why we're
yeah.
going to give them money so that they can buy food and keep animating.
I was wondering if the guy driving the car in the front, so was he a demon too?
That is the character Steve, and it doesn't come across necessarily in the first episode. When he takes off his hat in the second episode, you see his horns and everything, and so it doesn't quite come across as easily. But Steve's background, and it will be revealed further in the season, Steve is a half demon on his mother's side. And basically
Only observing demon, though.
Yeah. Well, his father and his mother are part of the story, so we'll have to figure that out. So the story is Steve being the main character. It's mainly about him getting out of hell and trying to live on Earth, and it's sort of like he's brought these other three demons with him from hell. So Steve is a half demon.
Okay, one more question. Why was Bernie's fire white instead of like red or orange?
Because it's easier to animate that way.
A white fire actually burns hotter than a red or orange fire, so therefore the flames were more representational of the pain that he was in.
Or it's because Bernie's red?
Bernie, he doesn't show up well with a red background.
Okay.
That's the real answer.
And in case you guys don't know, Bernie is a damned soul. That's the idea.
He has a tortured soul that came with them. He's like their pet.
And unfortunately, he doesn't really deserve the torment that he gets.
No. Well, if you want to find out.
I would like to announce my stepping away from the project.
Godspeed.
It's okay, I'll play Bernie.
Well, he used to gonna miss out on.
Don't let the door close. You can't actually get back in.
Kickstarter, so never mind.
I thought you're gonna miss out on my question here. First off, I would like to announce that I want to just put $1 on the table. I want it to go towards Kickstarter.
Oh.
Yes, have $1.
I think we have to frame that. That's glorious.
We can be bought.
And my actual question. now
This
is,
actually is supposed to go to draft. I don't get to see a dime of it.
I just put it on the table. You guys can just. sort it out amongst yourselves. Anyway,
That's defacing money. It
Oh
loses
yeah, we gotta
value.
frame that because that's the first
Hold
thing
on,
you
hold on.
made.
my
This is
question.
special. I want to get a pen so he can sign
Yeah,
this.
you should sign this dollar. This is the first dollar
It's the
towards the
seed money.
production.
I should- that makes it all possible.
Okay, give me a
I got a
pen.
Sharpie.
Okay.
It's only a minor crime.
This isn't defacing. I'm a numismatist. This is enhancing.
Wait.
Destroying it.
Okay.
Writing on it isn't.
Where do you want me to sign? Like,
No,
face?
because the Treasury Secretary will often sign bills.
Anywhere you'd like, it's breaking federal laws.
Absolutely right.
Thank you. Here you go.
All right, remember everybody, this is the act you have to follow, so you have to bring up at least $1 if you wish to ask us a question.
I signed $1. Okay. Anyway,
Maybe there's an exception for the Treasury
my
Secretary.
question is: are you going to explain any time in the show what exactly Bernie did to become on fire?
Everyone's backstory will be explored.
Okay, good.
Bernie, his backstory is particularly interesting, and we will be exploring it at some point. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because Bernie was actually the first character you came up with, wasn't
Yes.
he?
Bernie was Bernie. The whole show exists because of Bernie, which was very interesting when M.A. Larson told me to get rid of him. So, so I had to discuss that. So Bernie's backstory will be revealed.
And welcome.
I'm taking a tweet.
I would like to know where the idea of gore came from.
Gore was the easiest idea to come up with, actually. We knew that we needed a cast of characters. I did. Me and my friends at Taco Bell knew that we needed a cast of characters, and it was just common sense almost. They're like, all right, we have a guy who's on fire. We have a half demon on his mother's side. That was the kind of the way it went. And then the third character was Gore because we have to have a Hell Knight. I mean, we have to have a Hell Knight, and the Dark
Step
Lord.
1, make a show. Step 2, Step 3, Hell Knight.
Yeah. So his full name is the Dark Lord Gore, and it was just one of those things where the name came and it fit so perfectly that there was not a lot necessary to go into that. It was just one of those characters that just seemed completely naturally to fit. The hardest to develop character was Dawn. She went through several iterations, several changes, and there was actually a fifth cast member that we cut because 4 is better than 5 as far as a main cast. It's a little bit better for the show being what it is. The fifth character was another girl who was a human, and we will be meeting her, I think, in episode 4, hopefully. So, but yeah, the characters went through several iterations over several years. Gore's changed the least. The main thing about Gore that we added was we realized that Gore has no limitations. He can kill anyone at any time, whenever he wants.
Sleep tight, kiddies.
But we had to give him a box to fit in, otherwise he would be a completely uninteresting character. It's like the Superman complex. So we added this concept of good and evil being in balance, that if he ever breaks it, that he gets sent back to hell. And so we put this limitation on him where he's constantly wanting to kill people and do evil things, but he can't, and the balancing of him wanting to stay on Earth, but also being evil. And it really made that character completely more dynamic. And so it's really fun because what we're going to see Gore's balance of good and evil preference shift throughout the show. So I'm excited to show that.
It's not easy to walk a tightrope when you're wearing that big suit of armor.
No.
I wanted to ask about the name. Is there a story behind that?
There is. The original title was called Life is Hell, which we had to cut because there is a webcomic by Matt Groening of a similar name.
Groening.
Sorry, Matt Groening. Simpsons did it first, so we had to change the title.
Simpsons did it.
So literally I was looking for a title and I thought of, there's a lot of colloquialisms that use the word hell in them. And so I thought, well, what's a colloquialism that uses the word hell? And so I remember this colloquialism, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. So I thought, hell hath no fury. Okay, let's think of another word. Instead of fury, let's think of a food item, and it rhymes with fury. Hoagie. Done. All right, so that's where it came from. And he hated it. Mike hated it. He says too long, it doesn't work.
I didn't hate it. I thought it was clever, but I thought it was too long to remember. But I like the way that Solak addresses it, you know. Solak.
I'm Solak.
I'm in need of another lozenge. But anyway, yeah, no, I thought it was too long that it would be like, I have some.
Lemon soda drops.
Yes. I have one of these right here. Yeah, and I thought it was too long so that people, when they were going to talk about the show, they were going to say, Hell hath no hoagie, hell hath, you know, it was long. I'm like, well, is there a shorter way we could do this? Could we, you know, write it as HHNH? Could we call it just, I don't know, hoagie or something? And I like the way you described why you wanted to keep the name, which is that every time he says it to somebody, they laugh. And I'm like, that's a really good point. So I have conceded the point. I didn't hate the name. I just thought it might be long.
You just thought the viewers are morons and they wouldn't be able to remember 4 words.
Well, what we need to do is do demographic studies and
Yes,
shove
that's what we need,
absolute,
yeah. We need some
shove
marketing
absolute drivel down their throats.
Right, yes, lowest common denominator here.
The thought was if you laugh at the title, then you're gonna laugh at the show, and so that was where the title came from.
I don't know. Buffy the Vampire Slayer wasn't that funny.
I have a question for you, Monty. Yes. How difficult is it for you to assume an American accent?
I used to be really, really, really bad at it, like a few years ago. But due to being in like calls with these guys a lot, it's better to pick up when you know people and.
What you say to me, Sonny?
Every time I talk to
Dr. Bernstein, what
There
are
it
you
is.
saying to me?
every time I talk to her online, she becomes Slappy the squirrel. Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's Dr. Bernstein.
When
Monty-
she was first trying her
Yeah.
American voice, it was just wandering all over the American Midwest. It was like from Texas to Dakotas. I think you threw in some Alaskan there at one point.
I don't know. Well, Dawn was different because she has more of a natural American accent, and I'm used to doing like really OTT American accents. And so, yeah, it just took quite a while, and them like telling me to do it again and repeating for me. Like I'd say, "Oh, how do you say this word?" Like I didn't know what a hoagie was really before the show. And what is a hoagie?
Sub sandwich.
It's a sandwich. But yeah.
It's what you eat with kippers, it is.
Yeah, it's fish and chips. It's crumpet.
I thought that sounded like kibbles.
Kibbles, please.
Yes!
Kibbles,
Sorry about that. So I think this one is directed to Joe and LTT. You guys do another amazing show called Equestria Inquirer.
Yes.
That's
which is
you
amazing.
guys?
That's what you guys. Yeah.
Side
So,
project.
so my question is to you guys, you know, with the other two being here somewhere, maybe, is it a well, probably not in this room, but maybe in the con, definitely. Is it a possibility that maybe Techrat and Mason Alcat could be on the show, possibly?
No. This is our thing, okay? They don't get to play in our playground, okay? Not until they pay us $1.
Techrat actually helped a lot with some of the story editing of some of the scripts, and so we're working with Techrat in some of the story development. And as far as Mason and everything, it's just been one of those things where if any of my other EQI people want to get involved, it's sort of like an open door. But Techrat has been involved with the show, and I'm glad he's wanting to work with it. He's another one of those amazingly long list of people that I have to thank for this show.
It's kind of amusing because every week we have a Skype call to discuss what we're going to be doing for the next EQI. Pitching ideas, throwing out around jokes. Yeah, no, you can't say that on the internet. I'm sorry, we have standards. But
Internet.
But at the end of all of those, we would always sort of segue into Hell Hath No Hoagie, and Tech and Mason are on those calls, and every single time we'd be like, by the way, guys, if you want to do something for us, you go ahead. Our door's always open. You send in some script ideas, send in some voice, and they'd be like, okay, yeah, And so hopefully, yeah, I'm underselling it, of course, but yeah, no, there's a distinct possibility that they could show up.
All right. And also to Ely and Solrak here, I didn't ask for signatures, but thank you nonetheless.
Solrak just passed it to me. I was like,
Right here.
what?
So I guess I should ask a question here.
Now you owe them $1.
I guess I'll
Ice
I'll
cold
ask
water, give
I'll ask
me $1.
one each. I'll ask one each to you guys.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll ask one each to you guys. I asked this question to Kiko and Gilly, who is here, voice of Doctor Who's from Doctor Who's an assistant. Where in England are you from, actually?
I'm from Hertfordshire.
He's from Yorkshire.
Although I'm originally from Luton, which is not very posh.
I could have sworn it was Narnia.
It's Narnia! Aslan's a good friend of mine. We go play Quidditch together.
I think Jack's Blade actually has something to say back there. I heard.
And then me and Doctor Who, we're like this.
Oh,
And it's good that we have one more person because I think we have only time for one more question. But so is that? Oh, you.
Yeah, I just actually had. I mean, I'm gonna pass this off to him, but you have this whole thing called like Solrak Adventures on you. You have an adventures thing?
Well, I guess I'll make a
Are you
plug.
gonna-
Yes. I'm working on my own animated show. It's called Solrak Adventures. As you see, Solrak going about like this fictional, like Ponyville-style city, causing trouble and screaming at things and seeing how those things react to his screaming. There might be a Bernie reference in there. Stay tuned.
Also, hello, Jack's Blade over there, and live stream. Hey, thank you guys.
So basically, the meme for your show is going to be, here are ponies screaming at rainbows.
Hey, more of an animation question here. I worked with the puppet sets a little bit, and I saw that there's still, like, some of them are still, like, a little bit work in progress and such. Are you guys actually planning on any visual updates to the character designs at all? Like, even alternate costumes down the road?
Yeah. Obviously, I don't know what I'm doing, so and it's true. The visuals were designed as webcomics and not animation pieces, so there are a lot of flaws, admittedly, to the show as far as not an insult at all. I mean, it's my fault.
Well, it wasn't really flaws. It was just like when I was, because like I did one of the shots in it. It was more like just grouping on stuff like that.
Right. Untrained, incompetent. It's at this point.
Unreliable.
We are enthusiastic morons,
Yeah,
is basically
so,
what we are.
that's-
We don't know what we're doing, but we're excited to do it.
One of the things that we're bringing in Sibsy involved is for her to say, all right, take a look at everything we've done and give it the yay or nay as far as moving forward. So you might see episode 2 when she is directing it, a complete different change of style from Dawn, from Gore, from everyone. We are completely cool with that because she is the person who can make this show really
They're
pop.
my character designs, though.
Okay, well, you can fight for them then.
I would like to save one or two.
Okay. But yeah, we could do things like, adding development.
They're not yours anymore, kid.
No! Corporate America! But so does that answer your question then?
Yeah, I was just, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I have to ask this because we're running almost done with time. So thank you guys so much for coming here. I have one last thing I want to discuss is, again, thank you so much to the wonderful crew. If you're watching on the live stream, we are a wonderful team of international people. There are people, wonderful people who are from all over the world. And I love that we can pull people from different groups. There are Double Rain Boom animators. There are Silly Philly Studios animators, and one of the great things I love is I'm working on another project as well with the Double Rain Boom people and several people on this panel as well. It's called True Tale. Definitely check that out. We've got badges and stuff. And
This
Zach,
man
the
doesn't
creator,
sleep.
is
He
right
works on,
here
like,
as well.
9
I want to give
projects.
props to Wave Zach. So the cool thing I love about this fandom, and pulling it back to Pony real quick, this came from the Pony fandom. People who love animation, and we love it so much we want to make our own. And so here we have a group of people who love animation so much that we decided, I want to make my own cartoon. So whether it's Hell Hath No Hoagie or True Tale or the new project, what's the project that Azaday is going on as well. So Thank you so much to everyone, and I'm so happy and proud to be a part of this amazing Brony animation-loving community. So thank you.
Give yourselves a big round of applause.
Thanks, guys.
I want to add one more thing before we go. We're going to say, hell hath no Hoagie. Here we go. Hell. No, let's try again. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hell hath no Hoagie!